That is the biggest blowout victory in CHGO White Sox history. A 13-run smashing of the Minnesota Twins. Let's talk about it here on the CHGO White Sox postgame show. CHGO White Sox post-game show presented by Bet365, where winning is everything. Download their app and use code CHGO365 when you sign up. Welcome in to the CHGO studios. This is Studio West. I'm not used to it. I'm flustered. I'm freaked out. What the hell just happened? We are live from Studio West in our downtown offices. I'm your host, Sean Anderson. Alongside me, Mr. Hockey, Mr. Football, Mr. Baseball, Mr. Everything, Steven Nicholas, Mr. Hot Tub.
I am so happy. You know how long it's been since I've had a day like this where the White Sox just put a shellacking on the Twins?
A shellacking.
Shellacking.
15-2. And Steven, you were surprised by what I said. The cold open. I said this is the largest win in CHGO White Sox history. They flashed this at the end. The largest win for the White Sox since September 12th, 2020. They beat the Tigers by 14 runs. So they haven't beat a team by 13-plus runs in 6 years. It's been a while. We get sued if I sing. Is that Nickelback?
No, this is called a parody. You can do it.
Okay. I know. I mean, that was just me singing the bar of maybe it's Stained. Anyways, hit that thumbs up button. We got Kev in the chat saying, God, I loved every second of that. We also have Major Comeback saying, my favorite bedtime podcast is here. You're going to sleep easy tonight. Sox win 15-2. Let's go through it. We'll update you on where the White Sox stand in the playoffs. We'll talk about Munetaka Murakami hitting his 20th home run. We'll talk about the White Sox hitting 17 hits today. Chase Meidroth hits his first grand slam. David Sandlin has one hell of a major league debut. Hagen Smith has a nice night in Charlotte. And we'll also talk about a horrendous quote that Will Venable had on Riku Nishida that may haunt you, Major Comeback. You may have bad dreams tonight because we may end on a weird note. It's game 55 for your Chicago White Sox versus the Minnesota Twins. Game 3 of a 4-game series. The Sox are entering today 27-27. David Sandlin makes the debut tonight. For his major league debut tonight for the Chicago White Sox, pushing Davis Martin back to tomorrow. He mainly features, or at least what we thought, a cutter, four-seam fastball, a sinker, and a curveball. We'll talk about the breadth of his pitches and what he actually threw tonight. It's not those 4 pitches. And the talk, at least from Brooke Fletcher, was the White Sox were going to let Sandlin go 5 innings, 85 pitches. That's at least what Brooke kept saying. James Fegan said that Sandlin was going 75. He only goes 61, but it's an impressive 61. Top one, I know this is sounding a little bit, counterintuitive, but a leadoff homer from Byron Buxton, okay? Bear with me. I know, they won 15-2. It's a wild game. Buxton solo homer on the second pitch of the game. It's 1-0 Minnesota. Then Sandlin gets 2 Ks and a ground out, and he's able to work past that solo homer from Byron Buxton. Steven, do you have that graphic of the Buxton at bat? It's, nothing bad on Sandlin's end. He misses the first pitch for a ball, so then he tries to, and it was reversed. It was first called by a strike, and then it got reversed to a ball, so it's 1-0, and he throws one, middle-ish, but it's down. It's out of the strike zone, and it's just Byron Buxton doing what Byron Buxton does. That's his 24th homer in his career against the White Sox, joining Don Baylor, George Brett, Travis Hafner, Tommy Henrik, Elston Howard, Jackie Jensen, Jim Lennon, Tony Oliva, Jorge Polanco, which is a very polar bear in Arlington, Texas name, Jim Rice, George Scott, and Robin Yount. Again, what the hell is Jorge Polanco doing there? But anyways, Sox are down 1-0 after the top of the first. But here we go. Bottom second, Colson, single, Caro, single. Hillsack bunt moves Colson and Caro over to second and third. And then Antonacci with a 2 RBI single. It deflected off pre-lip into the outfield. Sox lead 2-1. Chase hits a 2-out single. Acuna goes to third. Meidroth took third as well, but then Mune with an infield pop-up. So the Sox lead 2-1 after the bottom of the second. Top three, old friend Tristan Gray, D-fly to right field. There's old man Randall Grichuk with a nice catch up against the wall. Brooke does mention that Austin Hayes has had a setback in his rehab, so if you're wondering when the hell is Acuna going to be off my team, whenever Austin Hayes is healthy, and that may be never. So, yay! Bottom third, Vargas walks Grichuk with a single. He's thrown out at first, caught in a pickle, trying to go to second as Vargas was going to third. But nonetheless, Vargas is on third base with 1 out. Colson then comes through with an RBI double, 110 off his bat, 31. Sox lead 3-1. And then Caro moves Colson over, but Colson so far before today, his career split line versus lefties, 224, 297, 455, 2 hits today against a lefty. That's a 110 weighted runs created plus as a lefty versus lefty. And that's a shortstop who plays the second best shortstop defense in all of baseball, well behind Bobby Witt's first. Top 4, Sandlin retires all 3 of his batters, and then you start realizing, hold on, wait, that's 12 straight retired for David Sandlin. Top 5, he goes 1, 2, 3 again. Wait, that's 15 straight retired for David Sandlin. That's a record for a debut since 1920. 8 pitches in the 4th for Sandlin, 6 in the 5th for Sandlin, 51 total through 5, and then just the floodgates opened up. Bottom 5, Mune walk, Vargas with a single, Grichuk with an RBI single. It's 4-1 Sox. Then Colson with a sac fly moves Vargas. Prelip goes out. Orze comes in. Caro with an RBI sac fly. It's 5-1 Sox. Then Peters pinch hit single for Hill. And then Antonacci sort of with the 2 RBI single. You noted that it wasn't technically 2 runs batted in because Sam Antonacci is a psychopath. Sam Antonacci hits a normal single, and runners should be on first and third. But Sam Antonacci says, no, I'm going to second base, even though there's defenders there. And somehow, some way, Sam Antonacci gets the Twins in such a pickle, in such a hiccup, that Josh Bell is trying to make a Derek Jeter-esque throw in the base path, going towards right field to try to get Antonacci at second, all while Tristan Peters just walks home. So it's technically not a run batted in, but Antonacci created another run there. It's 7-1 White Sox, and then Acuna joins the fun. An RBI single for Luis Angel Acuna. It's 8-1 Sox after 5. Do you want to say something?
I was just gonna say. I mean, I was trying to come up with this during the game. Like, I was gonna say this isn't your grandpa's White Sox or anything like that. But this is so different from what we've seen. You're bringing up the Antonacci hustle. I have not seen that in a very long time. That is a microcosm of what this winning ways has been for the White Sox as of late.
This is kind of our grandpa's White Sox. It's not your grandpa's White Sox. It's not my grandpa's White Sox, but our collective grandpa. It is
TWTW.
That's the will to win, baby. Hawk would love this team. Top of the 6, David Sandlin still in. 51 pitches through 5. It's the least this year through 5 innings for any White Sox starter. Way to debut, David Sandlin. And then he just keeps the fun going. 1, 2, 3. 18 straight retired for David Sandlin. 61 pitches in his debut. 6 innings pitched. 1 hit. 1 earned run. No walks. 4 Ks. 12 called strikes. 7 whiffs on 29 swings. 31% called strike plus whiff percent. Major league average is 30. 15 batted ball events. 6 of them were hard hits. And the average exit velocity was 90.2 miles per hour. So overall, what do we take away from David Sandlin? We'll talk a little bit more after the break, but truly honing in, you really couldn't ask for anything better. I mean, I've seen plenty of White Sox give up home runs against Byron Buxton. He's hit 24 against the White Sox in his career. He's, made my day pretty poor in about 24 games. David Sandlin bounced back. David Sandlin showed grit, showed determination, and he showed stuff. The stuff was ratcheted up to 98 out there, and you saw a really massive breadth of pitches. We're going to go into this a little bit later on in the show, but if you want to show the pitch mix now for Sandlin, you're seeing the four-seam fastball that he touted, at least in the minor leagues. It got up to 101 reportedly in Winston-Salem, but the red is his four-seam fastball. The orange are sinkers. The green are kick changes that he got his first strikeout on, and it was labeled as a sinker, but it's a 93 mile per hour kick change. It's disgusting. And then in the brownish, I'll say that's more true leather brown, right? Rather where the other one might be dehydrated person's waist on the left. But anyway, so the brown is the cutter. The kind of what would you call that yellow, Steven?
Copper.
That's a much better word. Copper is his sweeper, and then the curveball is in that blue. He mainly focused on using his four-seam fastball today, 43% use on that four-seam fastball, and then he followed that up with his cutter this curveball at 30% usage, that cutter at 11%, changeup at 7%, sinker 5%, sweeper 5%. I thought that he could have thrown Sandlin a little bit more. I understand not pushing it a little bit too far. He got more innings than he thought he would. The minimum was 5 that they thought he would get. Thought it would be 75 pitches over 5 innings. He was just uber efficient. I love the fact that he just attacked the zone. He wasn't afraid to throw things in the zone. He wasn't afraid to give up a homer. I think giving up a homer on your first pitch kind of helps you just say can't get worse from here. And it got a lot better. And when you look at this offseason, a fair amount of moves that didn't really bring aspiration, that really didn't inspire White Sox fandom. The Robert trade brought you Luis Angel Acuna, who, all of you in the chat hate fairly. It brought in $20 million to get rid of Luis Robert Jr., who's now on the 60-day IL. So yay. But that wasn't an inspiring move. Austin Hayes, I didn't love. It was fine. They mainly spent it because they had the money. Same with Sir Anthony Dominguez. They had the money, so they spent it. Fetty, K was fine. K felt good. But the one that I really liked was the Sandlin trade. The fact that you got Hicks for, free-ish. The Red Sox paid $8 million of Hicks' $16. So you're paying Hicks $8 million for 2 years. That's fine-ish. But you traded your 21st prospect in Gage Zeal, a guy that was acquired for Austin Slater, for David Sandlin. And it seemed like the Boston Red Sox were ready to give up on David Sandlin, the starting pitcher. And I want to reach out personally right now through this camera to Craig Breslow, the man who apparently is running his team with AI and just running it to damn death. Craig, thank you. Thank you so much for the catcher who is supposed to be our best catcher, who's still got a hamstring issue, but you were still trying to trade for. Thank you for Braden Montgomery, who will soon be our right fielder. Thank you for Chase Meidroth, who hit his first grand slam of his career tonight. And thank you so very much for David Sandlin, who is absolutely sick. So that's just, I'm pumped. I mean, this kid came out of nowhere in fair thought. I knew that he had the ability to come up and start at some point. Threw 75 pitches in his last outing, was around 50 in the first 3, but I didn't expect this.
Well, I had to look at Gage Zeal to see, all right, what's this guy doing if this is what we just got out of Sandlin? Not good. No. Not good at all. I believe his ERA was over 6 this season. I mean, it's just one game, but it was one hell of a game for David Sandlin. I loved it.
Yeah, right. And, people were ready to get rid of Fetty before the start. And now with Noah coming back at some point from knee tendonitis, it does seem like Christian, who mentions Fetty, is on his final days. You are correct about that. Let's finish out the game. We'll talk more about Sandlin. We'll talk about the White Sox, where they sit currently in the playoffs. And we'll talk about Munetaka Murakami and Chase Meidroth, because we haven't gotten to the meat of it. Bottom 7, Carroll with a single, Peters with a walk, Antonacci with a single, Acuna with one of the worst strikeouts you'll ever see in your life, and then Chase Meidroth with career Grand Slam number 1, homer number 4 on the year for Chase Meidroth. 13-1 White Sox, and Munetaka Murakami follows it up, homer number 20 on the year for Munetaka Murakami, a solo homer, 14-1 White Sox.
I have power.
Yes, you do. Munetaka Murakami from Sarah Lang's most homers in the first 55 career MLB games. In 2017, Cody Bellinger, 22. 2026, Munetaka Murakami with 20. 2015 to 2016, Gary Sanchez with 20. And in 1930, we all remember it well.
What is it that I owe to fans?
Sorry, that's the wrong.
I've been watching baseball, Major League Baseball, since 1946.
He wasn't even watching in 1930 when Wally Berger hit 20 home runs. And then also, this is from Francis Romero and also the broadcast from CHSN. Record for most homers by a rookie before June. Murakami with his 20th. He's the first ever rookie in Major League Baseball to have 20 homers before June. It's May 27th. The month's not over, folks. There's still a game against the Twins tomorrow. There's still a game against the Tigers on Friday. Alonso with 19 back in 2019, and then Mark McGwire with 18 back in 1987, managed by the great Tony La Russa. Was that on camera? Steven just like
nuts.
threw up on his muted mic.
Popcorn kernel in the back of the throat when he said Tony La Russa didn't sit well.
Yeah, no, it did not sit well. After the bottom of the seventh, Sox lead 14-1. Top of the eighth, Cody Clemens hits the solo homer off of Isert, making it 14-2. Bottom of the eighth, the Sox get that run back. Caro with a walk, Peters with a single, Antonacci with a walk, and then Acuna with a run batted in on a ground into double play.
No RBI on that.
Huh?
No RBI, you mean?
No, you got an RBI.
For a double play? You don't
there was no outs.
Huh?
Yeah,
okay.
right.
Yeah, there we go.
He puts the ball in play, still gets 2 outs, and drives in a run. 15-2 Sox. That's how they win. They're 28-27 on the year. Again, largest win since September 12th, 2020, versus the Tigers when they win by 14 runs. The current standings for the AL Central, Cleveland leads at 33-25. Obviously, they lead the AL Central. The White Sox are in second place at 28-27. They sit 3.5 games back. Minnesota sits at 27-29. They're 5 games back of Cleveland. KC sits at 22-33, 9.5 games back of Cleveland. And Detroit, 22-34, 10 games back of Cleveland. I did not see that coming. The White Sox have kind of bolstered their lead in second place of the wild card. Yankees still have the first place spot at 33-22. They have a 6.5 game lead over the White Sox. The White Sox 28-23. They have a 1.5 game lead over the tied Minnesota Twins, Toronto Blue Jays, and Athletics. They don't have a home. They're just the Athletics. I remember them from Oakland. But all of those 3 teams sit at 27-29, tied for third place in the AL wild card race. Let's take a break. Let's recap. Let's check out the chat freaking out. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button. We have 182 people watching and 35 likes. Please hit that thumbs up button. Please subscribe to the CHGO Sports YouTube channel if you haven't. We'll be right back to talk about all the White Sox. We want to let you know about our friends over at Old National Bank. Whether it's on the field or in your financial life, the best teams win by delivering excellence at every level. At Old National Bank, we believe every play matters. From everyday checking to long-term planning and commercial banking, our team is here to help you build momentum and to move the ball forward. It all starts with a plan tailored for you by professionals you trust. From simple tasks to bigger financial moments, you can count on us to coordinate your needs with steady, knowledgeable guidance that brings clarity and confidence to each and every step. It's a partnership that's designed to help you feel supported, not just today, but well into the future. So whether you're celebrating a win, rebuilding after a tough loss, or gearing up for whatever comes next, we've got your back with tools, insights, and an expert crew that's always in your corner. Old National Bank, member FDIC, where relationships and results matter. I also like the slogan, get old. Hey, we just use all of them. I mean, it's Old National Bank. We also want to let you know about our friends over at Four Seasons. For all the right reasons, call 866-4-SEASONS. Whether your AC stopped working, you're dealing with a clogged drain, or you need an extra outlet installed, Four Seasons has you covered. They're available 24/7 with emergency services, with no extra charges for nights, weekends, or holidays. With over 30,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau, you can count on trusted service every time. Summer heat is just around the corner. I'm feeling it right now as I'm reading these ads, so don't wait for your AC to break down. Call Four Seasons now for a complete AC tune-up for just $89.95, backed by a 1-year no breakdown guarantee. This limited offer won't last long, so schedule your tune-up today. Four Seasons, your trusted local experts for heating, air conditioning, plumbing, sewer, and electric. Visit fourseasonsheatingcooling.com for all their special offers and money-saving coupons. That's fourseasonsheatingcooling.com. Welcome back to CHGO White Sox postgame show presented by Bet365. Shy Buffs in the chat saying, power, we have power. The White Sox have scored 49% of their runs via the home run this year. That's an MLB leading percentage in front of the Mariners, who I believe are currently a playoff team. The Yankees, who are currently a playoff team. The Phillies, who I think have come back. I know they started off slow, but I think they have snuck their way back into a wild card spot. And then somehow the horrible Angels. So at least we're not like the Angels. But we do want to wish a happy birthday. It's someone's birthday. White Sox fan 9324. All I wanted for my B-Day was a Sox win. Yes, sir. There we go.
A White Sox winner and a world championship.
Soon, John Rooney. Soon.
Could have cut the end of that, but I like it.
I could cut the end of it. That's fair, but that's the call. I want to hear the call every time. They still won in 2005. All right, let's have the big takeaway presented by Xfinity. This is the big takeaway presented by Xfinity. Imagine that. I think the biggest thing that I'm taking away after David Sandlin's start is I want the kids to play. I understand that right now they're 28 and 27, but I'm with people like I don't really want to see Eric Fetty start anymore. Trevor Richards, I really don't want to see you in my bullpen, even though you're there for mop-up work. Rather see Ben Peoples. Acuna, I understand he's young-ish, but I'd rather see Nishida take his spot, and maybe we figure out something to do with Austin Hayes, because I don't really care for Mr. Austin Hayes. Maybe Braden Montgomery replaces him, huh? How about that? That sounds fun. I just don't want this team to lose sight of what this year was supposed to be, and it was supposed to be a year to build, right? If Noah does struggle, I don't want to see him be sent down to AAA. I want them to lean into Noah Schultz, and hopefully they'll be able to have him work out his kinks at the major league level. I want to see Davis Martin going out there. He's not much of a kid, but even Colson, Colson had all the doubt in the world when it came to minor league baseball. He fell off completely off of top 100 prospects, and now I don't have a single doubt about him. He can hit righties, he can hit lefties, he can play defense.
One of the best shortstops in the game right now.
He's not fast, but that's fine. He's not
doing all those other
base threat, but when he's rounding home, as long as his home run trout is fast,
he does all those other things. He doesn't need to run fast. That's fine with me.
It's absurd what we've been seeing, and then even Miguel Vargas too. It wasn't an immediate click for him, but over the time where they adjusted a swing on April 3rd, 2025, to this moment, Miguel Vargas has become one of the best third basemen in Major League Baseball. And then you've seen as well, Chase Meidroth. I was ready to replace him with Sam Antonacci after he hit that homer off of Jameson Taillon in spring training. First of all, it doesn't seem like too big of an issue to hit a homer off of Taillon this year. But second of all, they both can exist. Sam Antonacci is contributing to this team in his own certain way. He's got 11 hit by pitches, and he's running around the damn base paths giving you a heart attack. And then Chase Meidroth, he's just been a really great hitter this year. He's really been able to work the zone. He's really been able to force guys to give him pitches that works for him. And when he wants to pull it, he can pull it. When he wants to go the other way, he can go the other way. He's just a really, really solid hitter. It feels like Caro is coming into shape. And then even on top of that, I know this one's weird, but Tristan Peters had 2 hits tonight. Tristan Peters is one of the best defensive center fielders. I know he wasn't supposed to be the guy, but he's more consistent at least than Robert was last year. I thought he was going to be a Michael A. Taylor replacement. He's just kind of become their starting center fielder in a fun way. I think the biggest thing is, let's not get too over our skis. This is a team that obviously still holds a wild card spot. This is a team that's 3.5 games back in the AL Central. They haven't played the Guardians at all and can really control their own fate if they take care of their work against the Guardians. But the big takeaway is right now, you have your 2, 3, 4 hitter for a while, knock on wood, as long as Mune gets extended. It feels like something truly big is brewing here, at least with the ability for the White Sox to, tap into that power and then get their ability from, 5 to 9 to just circle back up quickly to the top of the lineup. Also, Fat Hipster wanted me to, acknowledge your correction. Acuna doesn't get an RBI for that GIDP. So my bad. No RBI for Acuna. 1 RBI on the RBI single, but no RBI on the GIDP. But it does feel like something's brewing.
Yeah, you're talking about here letting the kids play. I'm 100% with you. What is it, about 3 weeks ago, I was on this podcast producing for you, and I said that Jerry Reinsdorf had beaten my White Sox fandom into submission.
How'd that go?
I sit here 3 weeks later saying, I'm back. I've been watching these games every single day. I'm following every single pitch, every single at-bat, and it feels great to once again care. And it's all because of these young players coming up, coupled with Munetaka Murakami obviously being a young phenom. And I know it's a weird rookie year because he's a little bit older, but I don't care. This is so fun to watch again. And even if they fall short of a playoff spot, they don't end up being a wild card team, it won't matter because this put them 1, maybe 2 years ahead of schedule now.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, with being 1 year ahead of schedule, that means playoffs are a possibility this year. right? I don't know if it's like true possibility. They have to hang on for 162 games. They're not even at the 62 game mark yet, let alone the 100 game mark. So we still have a lot of baseball in front of us. But I mean, just into that thought of dreaming, when you look at Fangraphs playoff projections, I think we brought this up yesterday, but we can just go into it. On April 21st, so pretty much when you were renouncing your White Sox fandom and saying Jerry Reinsdorf has killed it, on April 21st, the White Sox had a 0.7% chance to make the playoffs. And this is not including the win today, but it was 1.2% before the year, 0.7 with a record of 12-7 on April 27th. And now they sit over 11% at 28-27. So I don't know if this team can keep it up. They were really great in the second half last year, but I want to see if the kids can bring them there, right? If 2027 was supposed to be the year, this is a great sign for 2027. This is exactly what you wanted to see from 2026 if you wanted 2027 to be the year where this team finally got back to the playoffs. I'm not mad if they make it in 2026. I'm just saying, let's not get over our skis and trade somebody that is very, very useful to this rebuild. It's Billy Carlson. Oh, I don't care. But I at some point want to see Hagen Smith make starts for this team. Hagen down in Charlotte today, 5 innings pitched, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 7 Ks. We'll go into his velocity and stuff later on. But at some point, I want Hagen to be starting for this team. I want to see the young talent try to carry this team as far as they possibly can. That includes Sandlin. That includes Schultz. That includes Hagen at some point, Braden at some point. Teal at some point will be a reinforcement. It feels really good to be a Sox fan right now.
Well, I hate to put the cart before the horse here, but I had a shower thought I had just the other day, and this is crazy to be saying this right now on May 27th, but I thought about it. I'll say it out loud. This might be a good topic for a future off-day show. Could the White Sox be buyers at the deadline?
Well, that's, I guess, what I was alluding to. Was like, I think it's possible, but like, what does buyers mean? Also, Christian in the chat saying they have to beat the Guard. Oh, they have to. Okay. I thought this is they have yet to beat the Guardians. I was like, that's what I said. They haven't played them at all. They haven't lost to them or beat them. But I think, you're going to need reinforcements in the bullpen. Isert's probably not going to be in your August and September bullpen. I hope Trevor Richards is not a part of your August and September bullpen. Newcomb's been a great add. Hicks is going to come back off the IL at some point. I hope Hicks is not a part of that August to September bullpen. They have Peoples in Charlotte right now, so he could be a part of a major league bullpen at some point. But, do you want to rely on a guy that is a rookie? I do think getting somebody that maybe is a veteran that won't cost, an arm and a leg wouldn't hurt. It does feel like the Sox can threaten. I mean, like Carlson's the highest I'd go. I think he's top 6th in the organization. Some people have him as a top 100 prospect. His ETA is seemingly far out. They will likely replace Carlson with the shortstop anyway in this draft coming up. So, it's about the level of buying that I would want the White Sox to go to. I don't think, getting a true starter will be on the table because starters are fairly expensive, but, we'll see. If Carlson plus gets a starter, okay, but I think bullpen's probably going to be where they buy.
Well, yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. That's kind of where I landed. It was like, I don't want to mess with this core. I want to keep the young guys coming up, give them these reps because we've seen how fruitful that's been. Relief pitcher, though, that's one area where I'm looking at the middle to back end of that bullpen, and I'm like, I don't have the most confidence yet. I'm not there. And Sir Anthony Dominguez as a closer, that really doesn't do it for me. So, I mean, if they are going to add, I'd like it to be some lower price bullpen options. Granted, every team in the MLB that's contending is looking for bullpen arms at the MLB trade deadline.
Yeah. Shy Buff's in the chat saying, we're going to play a Jerry clip, so I'll just mention or notice this. This is the White Sox way. Jerry will ride the success, then won't pay. Still my worry. I absolutely hear you. Again, the quote that was attributed to Jerry Reinsdorf by David Sampson, former executive with the Marlins, was that what you want to do for your fan base is to finish second place so they'll have all the hope for next year, right? So that you have them on the hook and then you have them talking through the offseason and they're ready to buy tickets for the team that just finished in second place and can go out and get them next year. I do hear you. The one thing that does go into the ability for the White Sox to sign Munetaka Murakami is the White Sox ability to put money into that specific position. I've been listening to Jerry's last press conference when he announced the hiring of Chris Getz on August 31st of 2023 or whatever. And he, laughingly unanswered or unasked says, we're not signing Ohtani. We're never going to sign a pitcher to a 10-year deal. But what have the Sox done? In free agency since 1991, the White Sox have handed out 21 contracts worth 20+ mil. Those 21 contracts add up to $817 million. $353 million of that, 42.3%, have been given to a first base or DH type. 6 years, $68 million to Abreu from 14 to 20. Konerko from 06 to 10, 5 years, $60 million. Dunn, 11 to 14, 4 years, $56 million. Abreu, 28 to 22, 3-year, $54 million. Konerko, 11 to 13, 3-year, $37.5 million. Murakami, 26 to 27, 2-year, $34 million. LaRoche, 15 to 16, 2 years, $25 million. And then Frank Thomas, 03 to 06, 4 years, 200, not 200, should have been 200, 22.5. Doesn't that make you sick? Frank Thomas, for 3 years of his career, 4 years of his career, got paid less than LaRoche. Adam LaRoche for 2 years.
Don't put it like that. Come on.
Inflation's a biatch. It stinks. I don't know this person's name. I can't read kanji, but Japanese social media is abuzz with the news that Murakami hit 20 home runs, and I'm happy to see the White Sox are doing so. We're happy to see it as well. And the reach that baseball has had, it's been amazing. It's been great to be able to communicate with people well across the sea about the game that we love, but also about the yogurt we share. I was at the grocery store today and I saw Yakult at the grocery store, and I thought I saw it at my other grocery store, but that's Yakult, the Mexican version, because there's a ton of imposters of Yakult, but I saw the real deal. So we were able to bond over baseball and probiotics. All right, hit that thumbs up button. There's over 200 people watching. We got 70 likes. Hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you're subscribing to the CHGO Sports YouTube channel. We'll talk about Hagen Smith. We'll talk about David Sandlin after the break here on the CHGO Whites. Oh, and Riku Nishida after the break here on the CHGO White Sox postgame show. We want to let you know about our friends over at Bet365, where winning is everything. Download their app. Use code CHGO365 when you sign up. When you bet $5, whether it wins or loses, you get $150 in bonus bets to wager to your heart's content. And our friends over at Bet365 love spending a full 9 innings at the ballpark, but they also get it. There's 81 of these things, and you've got places to be, whether you're trying to beat the Dan Ryan traffic or you're trying to get to the 33rd Street bars before the place absolutely crowds up. Sometimes getting out of the game early is the move. That's why Bet365 is offering their 5-run early run payout. Whether the team you're riding goes up 5 runs at any point in the game, they'll pay out your bet right then and there. It's as simple as that. They can't stop bullpens from ruining your day, but they can stop them from ruining your bets. Bet365, where winning is everything. Download the app today. Use code CHGO365 when you sign up. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Illinois. Terms and conditions apply. In-app only. We also want to let you know about our friends over at Game Time. The countdown is to 13 days. It's not in focus. Oh well. There's 13 days until the World Cup, and it is going to be taking place in Chicago. I don't think you have to zoom in on it, Steven. Okay, all right. The World Cup is finally coming back to North America for the first time since 1994, and it's going to be the first time with 48 teams, and you do not want to miss out on the action that's going to be taking place all across North America. That's why Game Time is the lifesaver for this World Cup tournament. It gives the advantage back to fans with tickets to all the matchups you care about. Track price drops in real time, get alerts when seats open up, and grab the tickets the moment they hit the app. It's all backed by the Game Time guarantee, and my favorite part is all fees are included. So when you're looking at the vast array of seats, when you look at the stadium, you're able to just click on a ticket, and if it says, let's just use for an example, $36, you'll pay $36. You can also get $20 off with our code CHGO. Use code CHGO, download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHGO for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHGO for $20 off your first purchase. Download the Game Time app today. Welcome back to the CHGO White Sox postgame show presented by Bet365, where winning is everything. We do want to at least shout out TS in the chat, who says he's not getting notifications. I also get notifications on CHGO Sports. I get notifications for the Bears show, the Bulls show, the Hawks show, the Cubs show. I don't get notifications for my own show. I have no idea. So I'm usually here. I'm going to be here tomorrow. Usually here 3 days a week. Typically like Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, but it does change. I'll try to give you my schedule on Thursday for next week, so you guys do have some heads up. But yeah, that is a frustration. All right, so Steven, you've seemed gobsmacked and just crazed that the White Sox have never won this big at all.
Yeah,
in CHGO White Sox history.
We're talking during the break, and I'm like, well, hold on now. We launched in March of 2022. I was hired to be the Sox producer here. I did that show for 2-3 years, whatever it was, and a that's not how it went down. And a smattering of shows here and there, like today. And this is the biggest win that the White Sox have had since CHGO became a thing. That is insane to me.
It's fairly insane. Do you want to talk about the 14 runs that the White Sox scored that day against Michael Fulmer and the Detroit Tigers with Reynaldo Lopez starting? Jimmy Cordero, Alex McRae, and Bernardo Flores Jr. Were the relief pitchers for the White Sox that day. They had a double from Eloy Jimenez, a double from Nomar Mazara, 2 homers from Jose Abreu, a sacrifice fly from Luis Robert Jr., 7 RBIs from Jose Abreu, 2 from Mazara, 1 from Grandal, 1 from Anderson, 1 from Robert, 1 from Jimenez, and 1 from Edwin Encarnacion. 2 runs scored by Anderson. Mendek pinch hit at some point for Anderson. Moncada scored a run. Grandal scored 3. Abreu scored 5. Jimenez scored 1. Encarnacion drove 1, didn't score 1. Robert scored 1 and drove 1 in. Mazara drove in 2. Engel would pinch hit for him in Madrigal. Your guy, Nicky Two Strikes, had a run scored in that game. Disgusting.
Hideous.
Grotesque. Yeah. And the Sox never did that from 2022 to 2025. Absolutely disgusting. All right, let's get into some stuff for Hagen. So when I'm talking about guys, just kind of getting the shot up at the major league level, I do wonder if, part of them is like holding back in a way because you don't want to give it all when you are not at the major league level. And, Hagen was drafted in the top 5 of a major league draft. He's at Charlotte right now. He's putting in the work. I wonder if there is part of him that's like, you know what, I'm not going to really give it my all until I'm up in the major league level. Kind of seemed what Colson did. Colson felt like he was a major leaguer for a while, and it didn't really feel like he ever locked in AAA. Now the guy's never locked out of it in 104 major league games. It's been absurd. But if you want to go to Hagen real quick, he did have 5 innings pitched, 4 hits, 2 earned, 1 walk, 7 Ks. The one thing that does stick out consistently about Hagen Smith is the velocity. The velocity sat today at 94.2. This has been a guy that was throwing 97, 98 in college. Maybe it was a hot gun. So you really don't want to say that he's lost a ton of velocity, still sitting 95 in the first inning. But what you do see is a decline. He sits 95 on his 4-seam fastball in the first inning. Then it's down to 94.7. Then it's down to 93.9. Then it's down to 93.8. And then it's down to 93.4. You wonder how much he can truly hold for a full start. You look at Sandlin today, 97.7 in the first, 98.4 in the second, 97.6 in the third, 97.5 in the fourth, 96.7 in the fifth. He starts to wane, but then in the sixth, he's back up to 97.1. Is Hagen capable of hitting 95 and then staying there for an entirety of a game? And the other thing as well, we'll talk about these two comparing Smith and Sandlin. I don't know exactly where Sandlin's arm angle is. It does feel like it's probably between 44 and 36, right? It's a little bit over the top, where Hagen is sidearm pretty much. He's 12 degrees, and it's left side versus right side. Sandlin, and what we were talking about yesterday with Burke and with Martin, is creating an arsenal. Foolish Bailey did a great video today talking about the pitchers with 3 fastballs, right? We saw Lance Lynn be one of those pitchers back in 2021. He was a rare pitcher, I think, one of 21 or 22. Now in 2026, 57 pitchers have 3 varieties of 4-seam fastballs, at least starters, that throw it 10+% of the time. I wonder if Hagen can truly, right now at this point, get through 5 innings with only 3 pitches, a 4-seam, slider, and a cutter, and if he can get there without the lack of velocity. Because at some point, I want him to replace Fetty. Maybe K will stick in the rotation for longer than we thought. He's been really great in May. I think I had the stats here in March and April, 6.12 ERA in May for Anthony K, 1.98. That will do. But it's not exactly what you want from Hagen Smith. If you want to go, Steven, to the Sandlin pitch mix, what we saw from Sandlin today, and it wasn't a ton of pitches. I'd like to see probably a little bit more from his sinker. He only threw 3 today. I'm sorry. But you do see 3 fastballs. And at least what you do see is 2 bridge pitches. That sweeper is a bridge pitch to that curveball. We talked about bridge pitches yesterday. I really wouldn't count the cutter as a bridge pitch because that's, a tertiary pitch in a way. But you do wonder what the full arsenal will look like because, 26 fastballs, it's a decent fastball. Got hit for it fairly well. Average exit velocity of 92.2. 4 hard hits on that 4-seam fastball. He's going to need to mix it up a little bit, but he shows the ability to mix it up, right? It's, sinker to the outside when he does have it. He threw 3 of them. That power changeup as well that gets a little bit more drop. That cutter, it does feel like Sandlin can work that in where Hagen does seemingly is a 3 pitch pitcher. Blank name in the chat saying wasn't a hot gum. His velo was clocked at multiple times in college by many different guns. I'm sorry, it was a joke. Something has changed with his velo. I know the White Sox have tried to mess with his delivery in the past. And I think Bannister said specifically. I had some quote about it, or maybe it wasn't even Bannister, the AAA pitching coach. It could have been that they really weren't worried about the velo. I know it's about his hip mechanics and dropping and driving. But yeah, I just have concern about the fact that it falls off. I mean, even if he stayed at 95 and could just hold 95, I really wouldn't care. It's the fact that it's 95, 94, 94.3, 93, 93.5, right? Like I feel like, we need to see just more consistency from his fastball when it comes to a velo standpoint. All right. One question. 2 questions. A fat hipster saying, could Newcomb ever get a start? He could. I think he has the ability to go multiple innings. I just don't think that they want to, ruin a good thing. He's been really great out of the bullpen, and he's been great to get 2 innings when needed, when just needed to get, the lefties in the order. He could do that. So I don't think it's going to be something that they need. I think that, if they're going to move on from Fetty, it's going to be because of either Hagen or Tanner. Tanner's obviously hasn't thrown yet, and Tanner's still dealing with his current injury. So Tanner's a little bit farther off than Hagen, but maybe at some point we'll get to Hagen. Melissa asking, is there a David Sandlin hype train? If I haven't driven enough, if I haven't blown the steam whistle enough, please count me in on the David Sandlin hype train. I think he's got it. I don't know what it is. I need to see him be a little bit more refined. He's 25, so I'm really excited to see what he can do. Tapped out at 99.3 velocity-wise. I don't want to get too sacrilegious because comparisons are iffy. I don't think he has as low of an arm angle, but there's some Zach Wheeler-ish to him. I thought it was, Schlittler-ish because of the arm angle, but I think honestly what Schlittler does, he's very tall, but he's kind of a skeleton in the way that he throws on the mound where, Wheeler drops and drives. And Sandlin does the same thing. I mean, Sandlin has a little bit of a Johnny Cueto turn when he first cranks back, but his ability to truly face the full batter, and this is the best way that I could explain it, and I apologize. His butt cheeks are very at the hitter in a way where it's not he's not sliding. It's not he's landing on his front foot on an angle and then, rotating over. He is fully facing the guy when he is releasing the pitch. And that feels Wheelerian, if I can say that. Ryan Rosas in the chat, as a native Oklahoman, I love to see him start like this for my all-time favorite team. Maybe I should look up how many Oklahomans have played for the White Sox. David Sandlin joining, I would assume, a rare breed of Oklahoman White Sox. All right. Riku Nishida didn't play today, but I got to talk about him. Ryan McGuffey tweeted this. Will Venable says Riku Nishida, though different personality, reminds him a bit of David Eckstein. Undersized, but proves he belongs and holds others accountable while doing so. I understand what Will Venable is doing, and I also understand that Will Venable doesn't have the scars I have as a White Sox. But Jerry Reinsdorf, talk about David Eckstein.
One of my favorite players over the last 10 or 20 years was David Eckstein. David Eckstein couldn't run. He couldn't hit. He couldn't throw. He couldn't field. There's only one thing that he ever did, and that was beat you.
Yeah, and that's what he did. Yes, that's what David Eckstein did, Grandpa. All right, let's go put you in front of the TV, in front of David Eckstein highlights and Tony La Russa montages. But I mean, it's not Will's fault that he brought this up, but I'm haunted by that. Just the fact that we got 25 minutes of Jerry Reinsdorf talking in the past 5 years, and like 16 seconds of his pontificating over David effing Eckstein. But yeah, hey, I mean, Riku has pretty much done that. I mean, whether it's second base, left field, right field, whether it's pinch hitting, pitch running, dropping down a bunt in an 0-2 situation to strike out, throwing two guys out at home in back-to-back games, it does seem like he's able to do whatever you ask of him, and I just love the personality and the determination of that kid specifically.
And one tiny correction there, he was asked for something. Yeah. He did actually got in the game today. He was a defensive replacement.
Oh, come
Very
on.
end of the game. Yeah, he was in there.
Stop paying attention after they scored the 15th run.
I can't stop paying. I was locked in. I'm like, let's get 16. Let's get 17. Yeah, he was in there, though.
And anyways, as Kev said, that just made us all more stupid. Christ. Goop Like Soup says, I forgot about that. Hold on. I swear, I'm going to pay it off. Hold on. I'm going to pay it off. Jerry Reinsdorf, describe Andrew Benson.
He couldn't run. He couldn't hit. He couldn't throw. He couldn't field.
And he still can't, and you should buy him out. And I'm sick of seeing Andrew Benintendi on my damn team. Another guy that didn't play. Was he subbed in for defensive purposes? No. All right, 178 people watching, 88 likes. Really appreciate it. Hit that thumbs up button again. KJ Russ 13 saying, I never want to hear that quote again. You're going to hear the can't run, can't field, can't hit, can't throw thing, as long as Andrew Benintendi's on the damn team. All right, really appreciate everyone hanging out with us. Hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you subscribe to the CHGO Sports YouTube channel. If you do want to see more shows, and again, I'm just throwing this out there because this team has been winning, and the views have been out there. Mention it. Just say, I want more White Sox shows. This has been a show that has done 5 shows before in the week, and your boy can handle the workload. Your boy's looking for something to do. So, I really appreciate the way that the Sox have been playing this year. I know you guys have been as well, and we'll be back tomorrow, but they got games on Friday and Saturday and Sunday, and I'm itching it. I'm chomping at the bit. But anyways, we'll see you then. Thank you very much to Mr. Everything and Steven and Nicholas for producing our show today. We will talk to you tomorrow as the White Sox and Davis Martin try to take 3 of 4 from the Minnesota Twins. We'll talk to you then. Goodbye.
We all silly like the mayor.